Hello guys, I'm trying to see if the stream is working now. As usual, on all the streams this happens. Once I check it's working correctly, I'll start right away. So thank you for your patience. Alright. Okay, it seems to be working now. Once I check it... Yep, it's working. Awesome. So yeah, let's keep going. I'll open the chat. Hello, how are you guys doing? Good to see ya. Today I'm going to be testing the Division 2's private beta on the 1050 Ti and the i3 8100. This time around it will be only one... what's the name of this? One computer, not multiple GPUs, because I'm limited by time today, but tomorrow I'll start doing the usual videos. Let's see what happens. So yeah. I cannot see the chat anymore. Oh, there we are. The game is very well optimized. Oh, awesome. Hopefully that's true. Okay, so here's the resolution option. As you can see, 1080p. I'm using DirectX 11 just by default. I might try DirectX 12 later on. The reduced latency option is disabled because it may cause lower frame rates, apparently. And well, here on the settings, I tweaked a ton of things before doing this. So shadows will be on medium, spot shadows on medium as well. The resolution of the spot shadows on medium too. No contact shadows to get a couple extra frames. Resolution scale on 100%, so we're actually on 1080p. Particle details on medium, volumetric fog on the lowest, because it's usually a performance hit. Reflections on medium, local reflections on low. This is screen space reflections, apparently, on some surfaces. If you disable it, there are no screen space reflections. I might turn this off later. Vegetation on high, because I didn't see much of a difference by lowering this. Subsurface scattering, to get some extra FPS. You can disable it, but it's not really a huge difference. Then anisotropic filtering on 16 times, since it didn't affect performance. Parallax mapping disabled to get a couple extra frames. Ambient occlusion on medium, that will feel disabled. Object detail, this option is super important. Over 50% you get a decent FPS hit, but on 35 it seems to be the sweet spot. It runs pretty similar to 0 and 2, so keep it on 35, don't use this one. It's a performance hit. And well, water on medium, I didn't see much of a difference, but there wasn't a lot of water I could see. No chromatic aberration because I don't like it. Maximum textures, high resolution sky textures, and terrain on medium. That'll be pretty much it. Pretty much medium settings with some stuff on low, mostly medium settings. So yeah, let's get started. We go back. Yeah, apparently it's pretty well optimized. We'll see. Is it 1050 Ti is better than the 1066 gigabytes? No, not at all. I mean, the 1060 can give you a big FPS boost. With the settings I'm using here, I'll be getting maybe 50 FPS or something like that. With the 1060, we'll be getting much more. So yeah, the 1060 is much faster. What I type? I don't get it. How are you doing? ¿A usted se le escuchan los diálogos? No entiendo. Ah, en el juego. Y las voces por el parlante se escuchan. Ya los personajes no estoy seguro si tienen algo por separado. What's up, Hit? How are you doing? Good to see ya. Can you say you too? I don't get what you mean. Will you check a 30 FPS log in the end? Yes, of course, as usual. Hi Patrick Casper, how are you doing? Good to see ya. Nice to see ya. Well, nice to see you too, Leo Andreas. Nice to meet you. Which GPU to buy this time? Probably the 570 is the best option at the moment. Okay, so we're at nighttime at the moment. We're getting 49 FPS right here. Yeah, something like that. So let's keep it going.
Incoming alert on the SHD emergency channel.
Oh yeah, at the moment we're over 50, with some drops into the upper 40s. Probably due to these spotlights. When I tried this for the first time, I was getting much more FPS because there were no spotlights, it was daytime. So yeah, some places with spotlights can be quite problematic, apparently. How are things? Everything is fantastic right here. What about you? Hi, my friend. Hi, Vladimir. How's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, the CPU is maxed out, but so far I'm not seeing a huge problem with it. I mean, the GPU is still pretty much over 90%. Some drops into the lower 90%, but still pretty good.
All government personnel. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill.
Garrus voice actor still there. What? I don't get it. From Mass Effect, the same guy that does Garrus is doing the monologues. Awesome. If I didn't get the joke, well, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so far this is pretty good. We'll see once we get into a more action-oriented place. Where did you get the beta? I got the beta from ChronoGG. They offered me a code because I work with them on links on my description. Gracias, Ajus. Me alegro que te guste como el inglés. Yeah, 100% CPU usage, that's no surprise. It's just a quad-core CPU, 4 cores, 4 threads. This usually happens, so no big deal. A lot of games are having those problems. Oh yeah, even here we're over 50 frames per second. The problematic place was pretty much at the start due to the many spotlights. Here we have one that produces shadows. I'm quite impressed by that, but I'm getting shot. So 1 second. Never mind, we're dropping into the mid-40s sometimes. We'll see once we get rid of the enemies. Yeah, probably the particles over there. There was some fire going on, some explosions. There we go, he's down. Alright, let's take cover. Oh yeah, here in this more open environment with more effects, we're getting drops into the upper 40s. Maybe disabling reflections is a good idea. After the fight, I'll see what I do.
Serious trauma detected.
Let's get into cover. I don't even know how to heal myself. Perfection. We got him. High settings. You can read the settings at my right, at your right. In the middle of the screen it says medium to low settings. Oh, take cover. So yeah, I mean the game still looks pretty good, don't get me wrong. But yeah. We're still dropping below 50. I usually like to stay over 50 as much as possible. Not always possible, but here we just need to do some small tweaks. Probably resolution scale to 90%, some lower reflection options. Something like that, because the particles are already lowered quite a bit. So yeah. Okay. Let me check real quick if I can fix this by lowering the reflections super quickly. In the graphics options, we go down here into local reflections and we disable them. The game is going to freeze momentarily. I have to just put it in a window, apply the settings super quick and be right back. Alright. Hopefully the game doesn't kick me out. Yeah, I've been running into many issues. Okay, now with the local reflections on low instead of... Sorry, with the local reflections disabled instead of low, we are over 50 frames per second. Let me show you super quickly. The game for some reason freezes when I change settings super quickly. I have to go into a window and go right back. If not, the game will freeze and crash. As you can see, off. I disabled the local reflections. So there are no screen space reflections, so we get a smoother frame rate. So fantastic. Let's keep it going. Alright. High settings, no. I'm using medium. Whoa, a freeze. Jesus, that's stutter. Insanity. Probably because I changed settings. How do you like the new Radeon Vega 7? I don't know. It's called Radeon 7, I think, not Vega 7. Once we see benchmarks, I'll have an opinion. What do you think about the RTX 2060? I think that for the price, it's kinda good, performance-wise, and the game is broken. Okay, I'll give it a moment to reload the area. This area is super broken. That's probably because I alt enter in and out. Once it loads, I'll be able to see it for real. But yeah, the 2060, as I was saying, I think it's a good card considering the price. It's $100 cheaper than the 1070 Ti, and the performance is very similar. Come on, game, load. Come on, there we go. Nope. You can do this. Come on, game. Tengo el lote físico con los mismos componentes tuyos, pero me bajo en FPS. Y bueno, puede ser el procesador, puede ser que no tengas dual channel, varias cosas. Ah, solo una de 8, entonces es eso. Es que estás en single channel. Okay, this part is not loading for some reason, probably because I changed one of the settings. I might restart the game after this. But yeah, I'll keep going because I have little time at the moment. Off topic, did you watch a Clásico yesterday? No me gusta el fútbol, así que no, no lo vi. PS4 or 1050 Ti? In my opinion, 1050 Ti, due to the extra options you get. You can get a smoother frame rate or a better quality. Up to you. I usually like that. Hi bro, what do you think about the i7 2600K 970 for streaming? Is it good? Yeah, if you use the NVIDIA encoder, it should be totally fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Alright, let's keep going here. It seems that the game finished loading, that's why we get some stars there. Hopefully it's that. I ran into that previously, that if you change one or two settings, the game might get some stutters until it finishes loading the rest of the map. But man, it's so annoying. I cannot really change many settings without restarting the game. Super annoying. Dale, nos vemos, Agus. De nada, Pedro. Espero te haya sido de ayuda. Now I'm waiting. Hopefully the game wants to keep working. Let's see. And well, if I have any problems, I'll make sure to just alt enter out of the game. Okay. Please tell me I can skip this. Probably not.
Is you. Welcome to DC. I'm Manny.
Yep, I cannot skip. Okay, in the meantime, I'll talk to you guys. Can I run GTX 1060 with VGA monitor? Yeah, but you'll need an adapter, an HDMI to VGA adapter or a DVI to VGA adapter. Make sure that it has it's not one of the cheap ones. It doesn't work all the time because it usually only has a digital output. And VGA monitors are usually analog, not digital, but I said. RX 570 or GTX 1050 Ti, which is better? The RX 570 is faster on most games. Yeah. I mean, when the game is not properly optimized for NVIDIA GPUs and runs better on AMD, the 570 destroys the 1050 Ti. But if the game runs better on NVIDIA, like Fortnite, it's usually a few FPS above, so you're usually with better frame rates on the 570. And the price, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Mine was very stuttery and lots of SSD activity. I see. Well, lower the draw distance, that usually helps apparently, in this game. But yeah, I ran into stutters when I changed settings. Talk to the quartermaster downstairs. Roger that. Okay, 2 skills available. Turret, seeker, miner, a drone, a turret. I like the turret. Yeah, how do I choose? Oh, F. Never mind. ¿Pensás comprarte la RTX 2060? Ya la tengo. No les dije nada porque era una sorpresa, pero bueno. Ya, ahora se las muestro. I didn't tell you guys I bought an RTX 2060. So I'll show it to you in a moment. But yeah, it was going to be a surprise. But whatever. I'll show you the card in a few minutes. I sold the 1080 Ti to be able to buy the 2060 and other cards for the channel, so we can do more comparisons. So yeah, hopefully you like the videos I make with it. I don't know when yet, but we'll see. Doom ran at 60 frames per second on PS4. Yes, I know, but Doom, not all the games are as well optimized as Doom. And I crashed. Awesome. I got kicked out of the server. Thank you. It's the third time today. Wonderful. Let's give it another try. Do you know some Russian words? Maybe you can stream in for Russian auditory too. I don't know any Russian words, but already 2 languages is already too much. 1060 and i7 4790. Which settings I will be able to use? Probably high settings with over 40 frames per second. If that doesn't work correctly, try medium. But yeah, high settings should be a good bet. Make sure to have the RAM on dual channel though. Super important. You should do a laptop giveaway. Well, I don't have that kind of money, man. Plus, I cannot really ship something from my country. It's 5 times more expensive than buying something for you guys. I mean, shipping outside of this country is just impossible, pretty much. Sí, Alberto, aunque espero que eso sea pronto, por el momento no sé cuándo va a ser. Esperemos que sea muy pronto, pero la verdad no sé. Okay, let's try it one more time. This is getting super annoying. Come on, game. ¿Los programas de segundo plano consumen CPU? Sí, por supuesto, pero muy poco. Okay, I'm going to give it one more try. Now let's just Alt F4 out of the game and give it a second try. This is getting annoying. Thank you, game. I highly appreciate it. Yes, I do know it, Magen00. I do know that word. ¿Crees que irá bien con una R7 360? La verdad no tengo idea. Capaz que en 720p está bien, pero no tengo idea. Is i7 4770 strong enough for the Division 2? Yeah, it should be fine. If this CPU works, which is just a quad core, it should be fine. Can this be run on 8 gigs of RAM? Yeah, probably. We'll find out soon enough. It uses a little more than 8 gigabytes at the moment. But yeah. You're going for more cards or just the 1050 Ti? This time around, only the 1050 Ti. Because, well, the 1050 Ti is the most watched card plus on the channel. Plus, I don't have a lot of time today. So yeah, I'm going to put it in a window in the meantime because it's not working correctly on full screen for some reason. I had to go for borderless full screen. So yeah. Oh man, gotta love betas. I wish this was called a demo so I could criticize it for the technical problems. Okay, it crashed again. Oh man, thank you. I highly appreciate it. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to try something else. This is getting super annoying. Almost there. I'm going to quickly restart the stream, so be right back. Okay guys, I should be back now. I went very quickly to change my stream settings. I was having some problems. Hopefully I'm back at the moment. Let's check it out. Okay guys, I should be back now. Okay, yes, I'm back. Awesome. So I'm trying to launch the game, so pretty good. I cannot really speak about the other brands. Lo movería con 8 GB de RAM. Por el momento no sabría decirte. Me usó un poco más de 8 GB, pero no estoy seguro si estaba compensando por falta de memoria de video. Vamos a ver. Come on, game. Counting on you. Please. After this, if since on windowed mode is working better than full screen, at least for me, it's not crashing as often, I'm going to try windowed mode. I know a lot of people hate windowed mode, but I don't have much of a choice right now. But yeah. Hello, Robert Cleve. How are you doing? Good to see you. Well, this bottleneck i3 4160 3.6 GHz plus RX 570 4 GB. Yeah, it probably will. Yeah, it will. But if you have the RAM on dual channel, it should be at least playable. I mean, just don't expect 60 frames per second on CPU bound stuff, and you'll be alright. No worries. Come on. Almost there. Okay, apparently we're getting some live again. I don't know why it takes so long to launch it. Not a huge deal, but in a live stream, kind of annoying. Tengo una GTX 970 y la beta se me queda en negro. Probá con Alt Enter. Mucha gente tuvo ese problema. Alt Enter varias veces y a veces funciona. En modo ventana me anduvo mejor. Después lo pones en modo ventana y queda. And I love you, RHXZ. Okay guys, I'm going back into the options menu and I will select just windowed full screen. So we're essentially doing 1080p here. So on 1080p I'm going to be using pretty much medium settings, no contact shadows, low volumetric fog, reflections on medium, screen space reflections, which is called here local reflections disabled, vegetation on high, subsurface scattering enabled, no parallax, ambient occlusion on medium, no depth of field, object detail on 35 because it makes a huge performance difference, no extra streaming distance, water on medium, no chromatic aberration because it hurts my eyes pretty much, textures maxed out, high resolution sky textures, and terrain on medium. That will be pretty much the options menu. Sorry if I went through it very quickly, but I want to see if the game actually works now. It's getting pretty weird. I'm trying to target at least over 50 frames per second, if possible. If not, well, we'll just tweak the game a little bit more. Then I'll just crank it up to the max and I crashed again. Thank you, game. As I was saying, if this works correctly, I'll just crank up the settings, try to maintain 30 frames per second like on consoles, and then we'll see what we do. But don't expect a very long stream. This will be an hour maximum, probably. So yeah. What do you do for a living? At the moment I study, I do some sports, and I do YouTube. I do all those things. So yeah, YouTube allows me to pay for my student stuff at the moment. Give me 1 second guys, I'll see if the Division 2 is working, the servers. Because apparently I'm not able to connect. Let's see. Okay. There's no reports. So if this doesn't work, I'll restart the game one more time on the PC. But yeah, come on game. I know you can do this. Que estudio, bueno, por el momento estoy practicando edición de video y voy a estudiar chino también. O sea, estoy metido en edición de video y voy a meterme a estudiar chino. Que eso, bueno, sale plata. Where do you check if the servers are online? I usually check the Twitter page of the Division 2. If that doesn't have any leads, I'll go to Reddit. So yeah, let's try Reddit very quickly. The Division. Okay, I'll sort it by new. Never mind, we're here. Okay. So after we load in, as you can see, it's daytime. We're getting over 50 frames per second. Awesome. That's what I wanted. But you have to disable screen space reflection, so some parts like this look super flat, super weird. So yeah, as you can see, if it's nighttime, it should be slightly worse due to the spotlights. So be super aware of that. It crushes performance because the spotlights produce shadows, many of them, which makes the game look amazing, but it destroys performance as well. But yeah, without reflections, the screen space reflections, it still looks pretty decent. And the performance is, yeah, it's pretty good at the moment. Let's see if that keeps up once I get into the White House. There's quite a bit of people in there. Enemies, better said. Long time no see, Crazy Zit, how are you doing? It's been a while, yeah. ¿Grabas a la vez que haces stream? No, es una PC aparte. La PC que estoy usando para hacer el stream y grabar y todo eso es aparte. Es una PC por separado. There was a big stutter over there. And I was saying in Spanish that the recording is being made with a separate computer. The computer that is... Oh, I can shoot it out. Awesome. The computer that is doing the recording is a separate computer. So the PC that you're seeing right now is just running the game. This should be the performance you should expect. Come on, game. Oh man, that big stutter. What the hell? Okay. Not sure if it's CPU related or SSD related. We'll see. I thought the game crashed. I have to pray for the game not to crash. Sí, el juego se ve bastante bien a pesar de estar en una mezcla bajo y medio. The game still looks pretty decent despite being in a mix of medium and low. But as you can see here, with no screen space reflections, we get this. Instead of seeing this thing right here, we get a flat cube map. Not a huge deal if you want just performance, at least in my opinion. So yeah, secure the south lawn. Got it. How do I access this place? Yeah, there are some stutters every now and then. I ran into this before with the first game. Not sure how to climb this place. Let's shoot from here. At least I get some stuff to do. Wonderful. Let me see very quickly the map. Okay, probably not this way. This is not openable. Alright. Yeah, probably a bug. This should be open. Not sure what's up with this. Fantastic. Awesome. No worries. Yeah, that gate should be open, so somebody messed up with the programming, apparently. Yeah, I mean, nothing's happening. Let's try it from this way. Yeah, the previous time this gate was open, so there's definitely something up. Whatever, I'll keep playing. Yeah, they don't even know what I am, so this is a very fun bug. I can shoot them without them firing at me. Great. You can crank up some settings and get 30 above 30. Yes, I know, but I'm trying to target 60 at the moment. Almost got him. This is ridiculous. Come on. And after I'm done with these guys, I'm going to probably lower the resolution a bit. No, maybe targeting 30 makes more sense. But yeah, definitely there's something up with this area. It should be open, like the previous time. ¿Alguien habla español? Sí, yo. Oh, Bugisoft. Bugisoft. Let's try it the other way. Because that place was open, I'm sure of it. Maybe there's another way in. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, this gate is locked as well. Yeah, definitely not not something that should have happened. Let me see if I can break this. Nope, you cannot break this. This place is locked off. Oh man. Okay, it's a beta after all, but come on, man. De qué barrio sos? Aguante Peñarol nomás. Vivo cerca del Prado. Y aguante Nacional. Nah, mentira. Yo qué sé, a mí que me importa el fútbol. Let's see when benchmarks will be out. Which configuration of the PC? You can see that in the description. Yep. Okay, let's crank it up. Let's crank up the settings and restart the game. So we're going to go into the settings, graphics, and we're going to crank up shadows to very high, because why not? Everything to the maximum. And I'm getting shot now. How perfect. How perfect. Come on. Good thing I didn't apply any of the settings. Oh yeah, let's change it up real quick. As I was saying, let's crank up shadows. Everything. We don't care. Particles. Fog. Let's keep it on ultra. Reflections, local reflections. I'm not going to use all maxed out now that I think about it. But we'll see what happens with some options up. This on 50, 65. This one is super demanding, so don't even try it. Water on high and rain on high. We apply the settings. Yeah, we have to restart the game. Who knew? So yeah, let's give it a quick restart. We're going back into logout. And we give it a try super quick to see if we can target just 30 frames per second. Please use maxed out setting. We'll see. Just give me a moment. I'm trying to see in a good way what is possible. Let me check if all the settings were applied. As you can see, some of the settings didn't apply. Ultra, all high, blah 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 blah, ultra. Cinematics seems to be super demanding, but whatever. Let's be ridiculous just for a moment. Alright. Okay, that should be alright. Now we exit the game. I'll launch it one more time. We're going to put here in the status 1080p almost ultra, because the ultra of ultra settings, which is with increased streaming distances, is super demanding. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It destroys performance for no reason. So yeah, I'll give it a quick chance. It has single player mode, right? This is like the first division. It should be, at least, that you get an open place, some missions, you can do them co-op, you can do them on your own. It should be that way. It's not a single player game. You need to be connected to a server, unfortunately. Well, big love from Uruguay, man. I think a mix of medium high is enough. Yeah, well, it depends the frame rates you want, as usual. But in order to get, I mean, if you want 60 frames per second, use medium settings, disable local reflections, and you'll be alright. It shouldn't be a big problem. Again, just use medium settings, disable the local reflections. I should be getting over 50 on 1080p. Then for 900p and 720p, you should be able to crank it up a little bit more, but it shouldn't be difficult. The problem is that the CPU is maxed out, but that didn't stop me from getting over 50 pretty consistently, with some stutters every now and then. The thing is, in my thumbnail I wrote i5-8400, really? Oh man. Let me check it out super quick. Oh yeah, I did. Sorry about that, it was a mistake. I'll fix it later. In the meantime, let me check if the graphics are all cranked up, like I did before this. Yep, it's cranked up. So let's get back into the actual game. Do you own a PS4 or Xbox? Yes, I own a base PS4. I use it to play Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2 when I have time. Other than that, I don't play that many games on the PS4, only exclusive stuff. Okay, so maxed out, as you can see with the maximum settings, I'm below 30. So yeah, don't use the maximum settings.
On the SHD emergency channel.
Let's just lower it a little bit. This is kinda stupid. So first of all, I lowered the particles and the, what's the name of this, and the volumetrics. Lowered the volumetrics to ultra. I got some frames. The particles, let's lower them from ultra to high, since they are everywhere. A little bit more on the volumetric side. Perfect. Then the local reflections, a big hit as well. We lowered to high. And just one more thing to lower. Let me, occlusion. Let's lower this to high as well. And the object detail, let's lower this to 50. This is usually a big hit as well. Okay. Let me see, what else? Maybe instead of 50, let's put it at 40, just to get some room to spare. And that should be it. I'm going to be changing this to 1080p high with some stuff on ultra, so let's put it high ultra pretty much. So yeah, let's keep going. All right, so with this we're getting 30 frames per second pretty much. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. The shadows are super sharp, as you can see. Pretty sharp, better said. And there's a lot of volumetric stuff in the air. Now we're dropping below 30, fantastic. Set now whenever. But yeah, as you can see here, we have some screen space reflections. But they are pretty cheap at the moment. No big deal. Let's keep it going. I want to see once I fight in the White House what we get. Hopefully it's not unstable like the previous time. Daxios, they're maxed out, the Daxios. Okay, one down. Oh yeah, right now it seems to be pretty stable compared to the very start of this. But yeah, mix between high and ultra should be good enough. Most of the stuff is on high, but it still looks pretty damn good. Comparing it to ultra, it wasn't a huge difference, at least for what I saw when I changed the settings. But the biggest FPS hit at the moment seems to be the draw distance, so be aware of that. The draw distance is super important. You get the biggest FPS boost by just lowering that, so yeah, lower that first. What else? Oh, hello. Will you test GTX 1060 and RX 580? I probably will, but not in this live stream. I don't have a lot of time today. I'm limited. I'm on a budget on time. Okay, as you can see, places with a lot of foliage are the most demanding, at least right now. When I get into a place with a lot of grass and trees, I get like 10 FPS less, and as you can see here, we got some screen space reflections now. I can see this thing. As you can see, screen space reflection. Awesome. Looks fantastic. Let me see if I can go through the gate this time around. Oh man, not this again. How do I get through it? Okay, whatever. I make another character if it's necessary. I don't care anymore. I'll just start shooting. Oh yeah, so far we're getting over 30. I got a couple drops below 30 in the very start of the level. But other than that, it was... Excuse me. But other than that, it was pretty good when fighting enemies and all that. We were over 30 pretty much all the time. So if you want the console experience, it should be possible. I'll take cover and quickly do a 30 FPS cap. I put 30 in RTSS. Okay. And now, as you can see, I'm at a constant 30 frames per second. I use the RTSS FPS cap. I'll change the status to plus 30 FPS RTSS, so you can see what's going on. So yeah, this will be the ideal experience, as you can see. If you're targeting 30, just cap it with the RTSS software. Use a mix of high and ultra, and you got the console experience, pretty much a flat frame time graph at 33.3 milliseconds. And yeah, the game feels choppy because it's 30 frames per second, it's normal. But other than that, completely playable. As long as you don't mind the cinematic experience, to say it in some way. Pretty decent way to play the game. You can even, if you own a controller, just connect a controller and you get better graphics than a PS4. And on 1080p without any dynamic stuff. I don't know if they use that on the PS4 version, the dynamic resolution. So don't quote me on that. But yeah, I'll make another character because I'm just stuck in that area. I was super stuck. For some reason, it's probably a bug or something. I cannot get through that gate. That gate shouldn't exist, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, let's give it a big try. Yeah, it's playable. I mean, it's not a huge deal. Let me delete the agent. Yeah, it's not a bad frame rate, if you ask me. I mean, the game looks fantastic. Let's make a new agent. Agent. Yeah, that perfect frame time. Yeah, is awesome to get 33.3 constant. Agreed. Okay, so let me... Yeah, whatever. Let's get going. I don't care. Better PC, but only 8 GB of RAM. I'm not sure how it will go with just 8 GB.
We expected
Excuse
coffee
me.
in the morning. We expected
At the
free
moment,
Wi-Fi.
sometimes it goes over 8 GB,
those
but
were
most of the
taken from
time
us.
it's alright.
We survived.
I mean, we're below 8 GB.
When communications broke down, the
So yeah,
trains
maybe you
stopped
get some
and the
extra
internet
stutter.
went dark.
But we'll
We
find
survived.
out once I keep testing it, that we're outside of the beta and all that. This is just a cinematic. Unfortunately, I cannot skip it.
Asthma became lethal,
So yeah,
and with no police.
sorry
to
about
protect
that. I
you,
cannot do much about
did
it.
you own a gun?
Slow movement of controller make lower FPS playable too. Yes,
Some
that was
survived.
what I was talking about. If you have a controller, I don't mind playing this game without mouse and keyboard.
We are a
It shouldn't be a
returning
huge deal.
state. When our society collapsed,
It should
we
be
found
completely
ways to
playable.
avoid
With mouse and keyboard I can do 30 just
Now,
fine.
for the
I'm
first
used to
time in
low frame rates
centuries,
from my
what we want
previous
is
PC.
also truly
So yeah,
what we need.
if you have a controller it's
In
not
the
a
face of
big
disaster,
problem.
we helped each other.
What budget
We
case
built
fans
new
would you recommend that have a good
communities and
good
rules of
airflow but aren't too noisy?
We
I'm not sure.
adapted.
I don't know about pricing on
survived.
fans. I just buy
Established
whatever
a
is
new
available. I
But
don't really
there are
think
also
too much
those
about
who
that.
build nothing.
This or Ghost Recon
nothing.
Wildlands. I don't know, man.
Hide
They are
us.
completely different games. I recommend you look up reviews
They
for
made our world
The
bleed.
Division 1 and Ghost Recon
We don't
Wildlands.
stand
Ghost Recon
alone.
Wildlands is more of a single player experience
A brave
with
few
some
have
co-op
sworn to
elements.
protect us and save
So
what
maybe you
remains.
prefer that.
They unite
RX
us.
570 medium high 60
Remind
FPS
us that we are
stable.
one
Yeah,
people.
I mean probably.
They are our shield.
It runs better than the 1050 Ti, so what's to be
But if that
expected.
light goes out,
You just got a new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Nice to meet you.
Who can save us then?
Who can save us? Well, probably not the beta. Okay. So, please tell me that this is the actual game. Yeah, I can see the screen there. So yeah, this is actually the game. Awesome. Hopefully now the gate works. Please. Alright. Super heavy depth of field. Super heavy screen tear. You probably want to enable B-Sync or fast sync.
Incoming alert on the SHD emergency channel.
Okay,
Flash priority.
let me see if it drops below 30.
Base of operations is under
Screen space
attack.
reflection, some stuff popping up on screen.
Southern perimeter. We are in need of
Alright,
immediate
not too
assistance.
bad.
Repeat, need immediate assistance from
Still
any
30,
nearby
we don't have the CPU maxed out like before with unlocked frame rates. The CPU is getting bottlenecked. No. Read the thing over there. I capped the frame rate at 30. It won't go over 30. Yeah, some stuff it didn't load up yet. The CPU is not limiting anything at the moment. I just kept the frame rate at 30, so the GPU usage will be lower than expected. I'll unlock the frame rate in a moment. Just give me a second. I'm trying to get used to the controls. But yeah, 30 with a consistent frame time is super playable. I mean, with a mouse and keyboard, you will probably have some discomfort. But we'll see. I mean, it's all up to you. If you want to play with a controller and at 30 frames per second, you can do that. Or you can play at 60 with lower settings. Again, all up to you.
Division agents heading north toward the White House. Looks like they've cut down a group of hyenas and are headed this way.
Agent, if you can hear us on this
Un Ryzen 2600 y una 2060. ¿Qué tiene? No entiendo. Está bien la combinación. Me gustaba más cuando todos usaban chamarritas. Sí, tal cual. Y 38100. Oh, sorry. Okay, as you can see now, the gate is open. Before the gate wasn't open, so I couldn't go through. It was definitely a bug. So yeah, if you cannot go through this place, make sure you make another character. Let me take cover. Oh man. Oh yes, apparently it stays at 30 without much of an issue. Let's get out of here. But yeah, with these settings we can do this just fine. And there we go. Why you capped off the frame rate? I capped it because it makes it significantly more stable. That's why consoles cap the frame rate as well in most games. It saves on CPU resources as well as GPU in general. Let me super quick unlock the frame rate again. Where is it? Come on. Okay, so now I unlock the frame rate again. Now we're uncapped frame rates, sorry. We're on uncapped frame rates. We're getting 35. Higher CPU usage to be expected. So yeah, if you uncap the frame rate, you can do this pretty well. Okay, he dropped the grenade, awesome. We dropped into the upper 20s. I know that there's a guy over there. Please don't kill me. Awesome. But yeah, all the smoke on screen probably destroy the frame rate a little bit. We dropped from the mid 30s to the upper 20s. Yeah, as you can see now, we drop a little bit below 30, maybe lower the shadows a little bit. Sí, le pasa a casi todos los juegos, eso sin duda. Necesito hacerte una pregunta. Dice la mayoría de las veces corre todo al máximo, pero empieza a dropear frames a 50 de la nada y se nota mucho. Asegúrate de tener dual channel, asegúrate de que las texturas no estén muy altas si es que tenés poca memoria de video, y asegúrate de tener un procesador decente. Eso es todo lo que te puedo decir. RTSS, what is that? Is Rivatunner Statistics Server. It's a software that allows us to cap the frame rate, see the FPS when it's paired with MSI Afterburner. Pretty useful. I have a video talking about how to cap the frame rate. That frame rate limiter is amazing. You put 30 and you stay at 33.3 milliseconds. So the game feels super smooth like on a console at 30. I mean, to explain myself better, on consoles usually people say that at 30 frames per second they feel it's smoother than on a PC. That's because on PC usually the FPS caps are not so good, so you don't get a consistent frame time. Well, if you want something like that, close to a 30 FPS on a console, you can just cap it with RTSS and you get a stable frame time. You can do that at 60 as well. It stays at 16.6. So yeah, RTSS plus MSI Afterburner, correct. So Ryzen 3 1300X and RX 570 is enough for streaming. Yes, but you have to use the GPU encoder, RE Live, and you have to cap games at 60 frames per second, lower the settings to have enough GPU and CPU power to spare. But yeah man, it should be playable. You just have to manage your expectations. I can get 60 frames per second on Shadow Warrior 2. Well, you have to lower the resolution to get a smooth frame rate on that one. It's super GPU demanding. Excuse me. i5-7400 plus 1050 Ti decent? Yes, it's the same as this, pretty much. 4 cores, 4 threads, a decent frequency. As long as your RAM is on dual channel, it should be alright. Talking about RAM, guys, it's going over 8 GB at the moment. I only have the game, Uplay, and Rivatunner and MSI Afterburner running in the background. So yeah, apparently it uses more than 8 gigs. Apparently.
By the way, Agent, head downstairs and check in with the
So yeah,
master.
keep that in mind.
We can get you set up with some
It's super important.
You're gonna need the edge.
Yeah, I don't care. I just unlock anything. Okay, assault. Beautiful. Another perks. Another weapon. I don't know what this means, but I'll just unlock it anyways. Armor kit. No, I want a health kit. Yeah, I don't know what any of this means. Whatever. i7-3770 can handle a GTX 1070. Yes, I mean, as long as your target is 60, you can usually do it. So yeah, not a big deal. Just don't expect 60 on everything. Battlefield 5 should be alright if your RAM is on dual channel.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
But yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, yes, the i7-3770 should be alright, especially if you are targeting 1440p. 1440p should be, with reduced settings, should be pretty good.
The neighborhoods you'll be moving through are hyena
But yeah,
territory.
okay.
They're a bunch of
Let me
vicious
see where to
assholes
go.
who prey on the weak and
I have to
vulnerable.
get out of the White House.
And they destroy whatever they can't steal for themselves. And they've been an especially
But
serious
yeah,
problem for
what
them.
is the category of this game? I don't know what that means.
Need the help of the settlements.
CPU bound game.
They can't do much
If you target 60, yeah. If you're targeting 30, the G4560 should be fine. I'll be testing that hopefully in a few days if I have time. If not, just when the game fully releases.
But when DC is the priority, most agents are
Let me do a quick calculation or something. I'm going to do 1080.9,
Safe area left.
1080 multiplied by 0.85, 1080.84. Okay, I'll now switch to 900p. In order to do that, I lower the resolution scale. This will be by lowering this to, oh man, please, why? 185, 75 or 50. Why don't they allow me to select my own numbers? Okay, so 85 should be 1080, 85. Okay, it's pretty much 900p, it's 918p. So let's do that. I'm going to change it to status to 918p high ultra, and I'll crank up some stuff. But yeah, 85% resolution scale is pretty much 918p if my calculations are correct. And let's crank it up a little bit. Let's put everything maxed out. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. Okay, we apply the settings there. I'm in occlusion as well. Yeah, whatever. The object detail is the most demanding option by a long shot, so make sure to tweak this one first. Don't touch this option. Okay. And I'm missing something probably. Spot shadows are maxed. This is maxed. Okay, it's pretty much maxed, except in the draw distance. So let me crank up the draw distance a little bit, probably to 65. We go from 38 to 36, okay. That didn't change anything at all. Let's put it 100 and confirm. Okay. So maximum settings, apparently, no. Man, it restarts the settings every 2 seconds. Jesus Christ. Let me do this correctly. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm an idiot sometimes. Confirm. Thank you. It's so easy to put cancel applied settings. Holy hell. Okay. Then, yeah, I'll lower the draw distance now. That destroyed the performance, as you can see over there. The rest is just cranked up. So yeah, lower this to something around, let's try 80. That's not enough. 60. Okay, let's keep it on 50. That's my last number. And let's see, once I change this. Okay, we're getting 30 with some drops. Yeah, forget about maximum settings, guys. Maximum settings should be reserved for 720p on this one if you want that. These options I tweaked do not require me to restart the game. If that was the case, the game will tell me. There are some options that require you to restart the game. So yeah, keep that in mind. I'll lower the What's the name of this? The volumetric fog that destroys the performance. Okay, I changed something I shouldn't have changed. Oh, the spot shadow resolution. Never mind, that was the option. Okay. Whatever. Okay. High ultra. Yeah, it's pretty much high ultra. I'll put ultra with some stuff on high. And that should be it. Oh yeah, I changed the spotlight, the spotlight shadow resolution. That told me to restart the game, but I reverted the option, so we don't need to necessarily restart the game because I didn't change the setting. I reverted the setting back. But yeah. So yeah, if you change something and it tells you to restart the game and you don't want to restart it, put the setting back where it was, and then if you want to change it later, change it and restart the game. But yeah, some weird things required to restart the game, like the anisotropic filtering. If you change the anisotropic filtering, you need to restart. If you change the spotlight resolution, the spotlight shadow resolution, it also requires you to restart. It's super weird. But the worst games to do this are the ones that require you to restart the game to change the resolution. That's ridiculous. But yeah, this one, a lot of options can be tweaked without restarting the game. But now I got kicked out of the game. Fantastic. So yeah, if you use a mix between high and ultra, it should be alright for 1080p and 900p with 30 FPS target. I'll try 60s later. Right now, that's not what I want. We're not having an anti-aliasing option. Yeah, probably there's something going on with the anti-aliasing, some temporal thing in the background, because the game looks pretty blurry in some cases. Okay, I'm having problems with the servers again. At least I could show you 1080p at 60 frames per second target and 30. That was what I wanted. But yeah, I hate when this happens. It's super annoying. Let's give it one more try. Minimum quad core. Yeah, quad core is a good idea. I'm not sure if a 2-core 4-thread CPU will launch it, but I'll find out once it releases. Let me just give it another try. Nice. It's just kicking me out. Excuse me. So yeah, it's kicking me out. I'm going to just try to lower the settings a bit. We saw the 30 FPS target super quickly. Let's try one for, what's the name of this? For 720p. I'm going to now drop into, no, don't listen to me exactly what I'm saying. I was going to lower the settings for 900p. We lowered the spot shadows to medium. Let's put this on sun low. Resolution scale for 900p, okay. Particles on high. Let me apply the settings. Yeah, I know I have to restart. This on medium, this on medium, this on low because it's super demanding. This on medium. No, I'll skip parallax, whatever. It wasn't a huge deal. Medium animate occlusion, no depth of field. Object detail, let's put it at 35. We lowered the water is fine. This is alright, and this on medium. And okay. And I will restart the game and try it one more time. So I go back, restart the game, and okay. And we're trying a 60 FPS target for the people that didn't listen. Let's put medium. Yeah, it's pretty much medium settings. CPU bound game? No, not a CPU bound game at all. I mean, it depends. The quad-core CPU was maxed out, but the GPU was at 99%. So it was fully utilizing the GPU, even when targeting 60 frames per second. So I would say it's CPU and GPU bound. It uses both things a lot. So yeah, no big deal. Was to be expected, considering how the previous game ran. I was expecting much worse, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to get 60 with a mix between medium and low on 1080p on this card. Hello, bro. How are you doing? Shreyash Gupta. I totally messed that up. I'm so sorry. One thing that you should keep in mind, use borderless full screen or windowed. On full screen, for some reason, the game has a lot of issues for me. It crashes, it has some weird hangs, it stutters. Use borderless full screen or something like that. Let me see if the settings are the same. Yeah, pretty much everything on medium, 35% object detail, low reflections, and 85% resolution scale, so this is actually 900p. I'm using Windows full screen once again to avoid those crashes. Let's see if the servers now work out. Santiago speaking Spanish, haha. If somebody speaks in Spanish, I'll try to respond in Spanish. That's pretty much my idea. I am also from India, and I am also a big fan. Well, thank you.
Safe area entered.
Okay, we're now... Whoa, let the game load a little bit. So now we're into the game again. 918p, which is super close to 900p. And at the moment, inside this safe zone, we're over 60. So on actual 900p, you're probably getting 3 or 4 FPS more.
Safe area left.
This is a little more than that, because I'm trying to not change the resolution of the screen. I want the stream to be stable. I just lowered the resolution scale to 85%. The game just allows you some small options for that. It doesn't allow you to select 83%, which would be 900p or something close to that. So yeah, I would say with this mix of medium settings and reflections on low, seems to be pretty alright. Let me see if this makes shadows. Oh yeah, it does. Awesome. But yeah, there are some stutters. Also, it seems to be CPU related or not at all. Also, it could be storage related. I saw the SSD maxed out. So yeah, this game is installed on an SSD because I need to load in super quick. So yeah, things to keep in mind. This is not too bad. There's a lot of volumetric effects. As you can see, the fog. This spotlights generate shadows. So yeah, it looks pretty good, I have to say, considering the performance. We'll see once we got into places with more foliage. That usually destroys the frame rate. What I see is a lot of pop-in. We're on 35% object detail. There's pop-in, but it's not enormously distracting. So yeah, that's personal preference. Keep that in mind. Yeah, this is 900p. I'll put in the status, I'll put 900p so it's clear. 900p. This is 1080p. Now this is 900p, and in parentheses 918p. And that should give the people that understand what I'm talking about an idea on what's going on. So yeah, we're a little over 900p. But since I cannot do my custom resolution without lowering the resolution of the desktop, I just went for 1080p and 85% resolution scale. I cannot select 83.3 resolution scale, unfortunately, only 85 or 75 or 50 or 100. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But this should give us a pretty good idea on what's going on. As you can see here, we're getting 55, 57, but on 900p it should be a few FPS more. It's a lower resolution. Oh, you got a 1440 by 900p monitor. Awesome. You'll be getting much more FPS than me then. Probably 5 to 7 FPS more, since you have lower pixels in one of the axes. Awesome. Glad for you, man. Overclock the GPU. This GPU doesn't have a good overclock. I mean, the one I have is a terrible overclocker. I can only get 100 megahertz max, pretty much 150. So yeah, not recommended. I don't want the PC to crash. Come on, man. But yeah, if you overclock it, you're going to get more frames. That's a given. I usually try to be as accessible as possible with the benchmarks. I know that not everybody will overclock their systems, so I try to be as close to stock as possible, at least on the GPU side. So yeah, will the RX 570 perform better? Yeah, of course, it will be much better, probably. I would expect a 15 to 20 FPS boost, yeah, on a 60 frames per second target. We'll see. I mean, if the 1050 Ti gets 45 FPS, the 570 will probably get like 60 or something close to that. That's what I think. I didn't test it yet, so don't quote me on that. But usually that's how the RX 570 is versus the 1050 Ti. Considering this game is sponsored by AMD and Ryzen and all that. Okay, a stutter as usual. It happened to me in the previous game as well. I bet a CPU should help out, and faster storage is also pretty helpful. So yeah, things to keep in mind. It's down. Yeah, those stutters are super annoying. I have to investigate more on that. But yeah. Gotcha. Are you a student? Yes.
Did it.
Gotta love that. Some mannequins for no reason. An echo. What a pointless thing.
Thanks for the movie, man. Anytime,
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever. Let's keep going. How is 1080p medium settings? If you use medium settings on 1080p, you disable the local reflections and lower the object detail to 35. You should be able to get 60s. Make sure to do that. And lower the ambient occlusion to low and the volumetric effects as well. That usually helped me out to get 1080p 60 frames per second with some drops into the 50s, but still super smooth compared to what I was expecting. So yeah, I was expecting way worse performance. Considering what I'm getting right now, this is super impressive. Of course, I'm not saying the game is well optimized or poorly optimized. That's not something I can find out with just an hour of gameplay. Less than an hour of gameplay, better said. But yeah, at the moment, I have a good impression. The options menu is super detailed. We have a lot of options. Many of them require us to restart the game, but less than on the previous one. So yeah, there's a lot that we can do here. Let me try something super quick. I'll probably try 720 now. Nope. For 720 I need another option. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Let's keep going. Okay, in a little bit I'll try 720. Unfortunately, I'll have to probably close the game because there's no option for the resolution scale to be something like 720p. So I have to change the actual desktop resolution. Super disappointing, but hey. Will you test God Eater 3? At the moment I have no plans to do so. There's a ton of games releasing. Jump Force on Monday with the Ultimate Edition. I have Far Cry New Dawn, Metro Exodus, this game. There's a lot to cover. So probably not at the moment. God Eater 3 is not a priority right now. Will you do GTX 1060? Yes, but not in the live stream. The live stream will be just for the 1050 Ti because today I have some stuff to do. So be aware of that. I test 720p and I'm gone. Sorry about that, but I have to go in a little bit. So yeah, what is the reason for this stutter? CPU 100%? It seems to be a mix of that and the storage. I have this installed on SSD, but some people told me that it maxes out their hard drives. So it happened to me on the Division 1 as well. So probably something to be smoothed out, not a huge deal. It's annoying, but it's not game breaking, I would say. Let me swap to 720, give me one moment guys. Unfortunately for this, I have to lower this thing a little bit. Then I have to, in the settings, to restart the resolution scale to 100%. So I'll do that super quickly, 100%. Let me see if there's, yeah, 75 is not 720p. So well, we're back in 1080. And now I gotta also Go into the desktop and select 720 as my desktop resolution. So I'll do that super quick. 720, where are you? There you are.
Hello.
Okay, so this is now 720p. We're getting a significantly higher frame rate, as you can see. Okay. Let me crank up some settings. I'll probably try the maximum settings. So I'll have to restart the game, but whatever. At this point in time, I don't really care. I'll change this to status to 720p. 720p max. That's what I'm going to try at the moment, 720p maximum. Unfortunately, yeah, I have to restart the game. Sorry about that, but I have to do it. Some of these options require me to do a full restart, which sucks, but it's what we got. 50 seems to be a good number for the object detail. Extra streaming, don't touch it. No chromatic aberration, no thanks, I'm fine. And let's see what else. Yeah, it seems to be almost maxed out, I would say. Spot shadows, shadow quality, yeah. Okay. Let me check it one more time. Yeah, I didn't apply the settings. Why the hell you do not apply the settings? Game. Come on, I pressed F like you asked me to. Jesus Christ. That is annoying. Holy hell. Terrain on high. Awesome. What else? Yeah, this options menu sometimes needs some work. Make sure to apply the settings each time you change one, because the game likes to reset them for no reason at all. Okay. Now we got to go back into the main menu and then get out of the game, pretty much. Do you have any plans to bench Jump Force with the same config? Yes, of course. Probably on Monday. If I manage to get the Ultimate Edition, I'll be getting it on Monday. So I can do some, what's the name of this? Some early gameplay. You get early access if you play the Ultimate Edition. I want to spend on that because there are too many games launching very close together. On Friday of the next week, we're going to be getting 4 or 5 games released. We get Metro, we get Anthem, early access. We also get Far Cry New Dawn. There's a ton of things releasing on next Friday of the next week. Tomorrow we don't get those releases. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming, a lot of work for me. But hey, it will be worth it, I'm sure of it. But yeah, it's annoying that I have to restart the game each time. Almost there, guys. Which one is better, i5-8500 or Ryzen 5 2600? It depends on what you want to do. If what you're going to do is, I don't know, some video editing, streaming, anything related to that, go for Ryzen without a doubt. Dual channel on the RAM, ready to go. If you're just playing games, maybe an i5-8400 is, well, the i5-8400 will give you some extra FPS. But also, if you're doing other stuff that is not gaming, considering the price, usually the Ryzen 5 2600, at least in my country, is cheaper, for what I could see. So yeah, I mean, if it's much cheaper, get the i5 2600. The i5 26. Oh man, if it's cheaper, get the Ryzen 5 2600. It won't disappoint you. It's a pretty awesome CPU considering its price. Then if the i5-8400 is close in price, go for that one if you're just playing games. And that'd be about it, my opinion on the subject. So as you could see, guys, there we were using almost the maximum settings. We only lowered the draw distance of the objects to 50%. So we get some, because that's the most demanding option. Is 1050 Ti is really a not bad GPU. It depends on what you see it. On the price at the moment, the RX 570 is a much better deal. The RX 570 costs almost the same in some countries, and it performs better. So yeah, I'll crank up some extra stuff. Let me crank up the draw distance. Everything is maxed out now, except in the draw distance. So this is awesome if you want to play at 720. Let's put it at 100, just to be ridiculous. Let's see the FPS hit. So from 50% object detail to 100, we get not much of an FPS hit, apparently. Let's try that again. 52, and this is 58. Okay, there's a good difference. But here we have a lot of GPU power to spare in general. So yeah, this is pretty much maximum settings, except in the extra LOD. That option, I'll just not touch it. It's super demanding. Oh yeah, 720p seems to be just fine. If you target 30, you can do maximum settings, except in the extra draw distance. Again, super demanding for not a huge difference. Alright, where do I have to go? Oh, that way. Okay. I took the wrong turn. My bad. But yeah, if you want to play with higher settings and don't mind dropping to 720, this is a good option. It's not super smooth because it's below 60, but still pretty decent. We'll see once we get into a more... What's the name of this? A more... I forgot the name of this. A more foliage heavy area. That's what I was trying to say. I apologize. In foliage heavy areas, it's usually a big hit to the frame rate. So now we're seeing some trees. Well, the performance is still good. So let's keep it going. How's the game though? Enjoying? At the moment I'm not really thinking about the game too much. The shooting, it feels pretty similar to the first one. What the hell? Okay. A big explosion. I feel pretty similar to the first one. The mechanics feel a little more polished. I mean, the shooting, at least in my opinion, is more satisfying. I find it easier to control. Not sure if that's because I played the first one before. But yeah, the controls feel better. The performance seems to be alright. But yeah, I'm not into this style of game, unfortunately. This looter shooter thing. Not my cup of tea. So yeah, keep that in mind before listening to what I have to say. It feels good to play so far. Alright. A lot of explosions, a lot of fire. Awesome. I like when stress tests show up. Oh yeah, it's using more than 8 gigs of system RAM. So keep that in mind, guys. Apparently it uses more than 8 gigs. What the hell? Okay, I'm going probably, yeah, I cannot shoot. Yeah, I'm probably getting kicked from the server right now. Yeah, I cannot shoot. I mean, look at this. Yeah, probably the server crashed on my end. Yep, to be expected. Good, now I can try to get 60s at 720p. ¿De soy de Uruguay? Can you try playing this in the least possible settings? Please show me. Yes, give me 1 second. I'm targeting 30 or 60. That's usually the numbers I go for. Let me... You cannot run the benchmark in the beta, so keep that in mind as well. As I was saying, I tried to get either 30 or 60, not more than that. But I need to do some tweaks. Let me change some stuff. I'm trying 720 and a 60 FPS target. So I'm going to lower pretty much to high settings. High. I'll apply the settings. Awesome. I have to restart the game, unfortunately, but that's alright. So yeah, this is... Yeah, pretty much high settings with this on medium, the spot shadows. that are super demanding in general when there's a lot of spotlights. And this 250, the object detail. I quit the game and go back in. Hopefully the servers work that time around. And the status will be 720p, and the settings will be high. Spot, shadows, mid. Pretty much, yeah. Does this game support 4K resolution? Yes, of course. It supports more than 4K probably. Is the graphics better than previous one? I don't remember exactly how the previous one looked. Both look pretty good. This one has a lot more foliage, which was to be expected with a different climate and all that. But yeah, I think this one, at least it appeals more to me because it has more foliage, more volumetric effects. At least that personally is what I prefer. So yeah, in my opinion it looks better than the previous one. Personal preference. I like when games show off some foliage and volumetric stuff. Considerando el precio, debería comprar un Ryzen 5 1600 o un 2600. Y si la diferencia de precio es muy grande, anda por el 1600. Sigue siendo un excelente CPU. New games need 6-core processor or 4-thread processor, and or else easily hitting 100%. Well, it was going to happen eventually. Quad-core CPUs are the new dual-core CPUs, to say it in some way. So as you can see, I'm using almost everything on maximum except in spot shadows, which are on medium. The rest is all on max. This all low is for the contact shadows. No big deal. High, everything on high. Object detail on medium. I call it because it's a big hit to the frame rate. Let's keep it at 50. And okay, the rest is on high. This is 720p now. I already tested 1080 and 900p. So let's give it a try. Puedes hacer la prueba de Apex en Ryzen 5 2600 y E50 Ti. Ya hice la prueba de Apex en la E50 Ti. No probé el 2600 porque corre idéntico. O sea, estamos limitados por la tarjeta de video. Así que no hace falta, va a correr idéntico. Let me go outside, guys, because indoors is not usually the same. Okay, now we're outside. We're getting pretty much 60 frames per second now. Let me see the map. Okay, let's go back to the White House.
Agent requesting backup.
Let me see where that is. Oh, it's close by. Let's go fight with this guy that is calling for our help. And after that, I'll go back to the White House. A lot of foliage there. All that kind of stuff. But yeah, the game looks pretty good. This is 720, that's why it's probably not looking so hot. But as you can see, there are some stutters every now and then. Not sure if produced by the CPU or the storage. Apparently the storage speed is super important because it's streaming stuff from the background. Some people told me that their SSDs were maxed out. I'm using an SSD at the moment, so it should be more stable. I use an SSD because I have to load in super quickly from the... what the hell? I have to load the game super quickly for the stream.
Incoming backup request.
You know what I miss? Just being able to order pizza.
Come on, run faster. Come on. Yes, in here.
Safe area detected.
Safe area detected, okay. I don't care. Yeah, it's still that way, but I saw an enemy on this side. Okay, we got some drops below 60, but they seem to be CPU related now. The CPU was maxed out. We dropped GPU usage to 80%. So yeah, in this case we're between CPU and GPU bound, I would say. I mean, the game is still playable, but in this case, due to the high frame rate, I would recommend a faster CPU. You can still play way smoother than 30, don't get me wrong, but it's not 100% perfect. Oh yeah, still I wasn't expecting this performance. I was expecting much worse actually. I'll quickly go back to 1080 just to show you once more the performance. Now I already showed you 1080. I'll go back to 900p so we can see what was the name of this. So I can show you the ideal settings and then I'm gone after showing you that. Whoa. I have to change to 900p in the desktop. I'm using borderless full screen because, well, on full screen the game crashes, at least for me. Okay. So as I was saying, this is 900p now. I'm using the settings right here. I'll lower the ambient occlusion a little bit. Then I'll lower the local reflections to medium. And what else? Well, why would you use the chromatic aberration? I don't know. The object detail, let's lower it to 35. 35 was a good number. We get a few extra frames there. Then the local reflections, I already lowered that. The reflection also helps out a tiny bit. The volumetric fog is super demanding in some instances. Particles to medium as well. I cannot change this without restarting the game, so I'll keep it the same. Spot shadows as well. Shadow quality, let's keep this on medium as well. Oh, I have to restart the game for this one. Okay, never mind, I'll keep it on high. I didn't change that option, just keep that in mind. And let's see if this helps out. Okay, we're getting the same frame rate. Okay, so I'm back into 900p. Medium. High shadows. And this should be the settings to get 60s, at least in the streets. Excuse me.
Be safe out there.
But yeah, apparently lowering the resolution scale from 1080p 85% is not the same as 900p. Not even close, actually. So my previous testing that said 918p wasn't super accurate
Safe area.
because I'm using a slightly higher setting.
Agent requesting backup.
But yeah, let's go back to the White House and check that out. Because I want to see the foliage heavy places after I fight those dudes over there. But yeah, can you change 1080p and low graphics quality? I already tried that at the very start of the stream, so the point now is to show you the ideal settings, which should be 900p for 60 frames per second. For 1080p, you just need to disable the reflections. It should be super similar to this, but you need to lower the shadows a bit and disable the local reflections. That'll get rid of screen space reflections, but the game will be super close to 60, something like, I don't know, over 50, some drops into the 40s when big explosions show up, and a lot of particles and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I would do on 1080p. I will disable the local reflections, lower the shadows a bit, the ambient occlusion a little bit as well.
You're right next to the Grand Washington Hotel.
And that should be it. Big explosion, awesome, we're still over 60. Fantastic. Let's keep it going. Sí que vale la pena, solo con el 2600 ganarás un 40-50% de rendimiento. Bueno, depende... ¿del 1600 al 2600? ¿Estás seguro? ¿O estás comparándolo con este CPU? Si lo comparas con este CPU, tal, lo puedo entender. Will it run with GTX 1052GB? Yes, it should be just fine. Lower the texture quality. Instead of 512, select 256 or something like that. And expect 10% less FPS. That'll mean a mix between medium and low for 900p, low settings for 1080p. And it should be 60 FPS, no problems. Hi, Gaming with Fun, how are you doing? Good to see you. Lo que no entiendo es por qué si los CPU lo lleva al 100% no va a lag el directo. Porque estoy usando una PC aparte para hacer el directo, esa es la idea. O sea, la PC que estás viendo ahora no está, solo corre juego. El stream lo está haciendo una PC por separado. Así no afecta el rendimiento. I was saying in Spanish that I'm not getting stutters in the stream. By stutters in the stream I mean, as you can see, the CPU is maxed out. Well, that's because the PC that you're seeing right now is not doing the live stream, it's only running the game. And there's a separate PC doing the live stream, so we don't get a performance hit. That's pretty much the idea, to do a benchmark stream. So I'm live playing the game, but I'm also doing a benchmark because I'm using an external recording solution. So yeah, it makes the game it makes the benchmark more accurate because the PC is only running the game. So yeah, there's not a single FPS hit due to the live stream. And as you can see right now, we're getting 9 GB of system RAM usage. Hopefully that doesn't go out of the beta, that stays in the beta, and in the final game we get less than 8 GB. But at the moment, as you can see, I'm using 9 gigs of system RAM. So keep that in mind, more than 8 GB seems to be necessary. But yeah, in this place with more foliage, more effects, it should be more taxing. Let's give it a try. Okay, now I'm dropping to the 50s with the extra foliage and all the volumetric effects. Fantastic, what I was looking for. So yeah, this seems to be the ideal settings. Because we are over 50, we rarely drop below 50, and we are close to 60 many times. This is windowed mode, 900p, windowed mode. Borderless full screen mode, because full screen crashes, for me at least. Then 900p, no VSync. Shadows on high, spot shadows on medium, spot shadow resolution on high. Contact shadows on all low, but if you lower it to some low, it should be slightly better. Resolution scale at 100%, so we're actually on 900p. Sharpening on 10, this is personal preference. If it looks too sharp, just lower it a little bit. 7 seems to be the sweet spot. Particles on medium, volumetric fog on medium, reflections on medium, local reflection on medium. This is the screen space reflections, so this looks pretty good. If you disable it, it's a big FPS improvement. Vegetation on high, subsurface scattering for better skin textures, better said. The lighting on the skin is better. Anisotropic filtering 16 times, I didn't see a difference with this. Parallax occlusion mapping is on yes. Medium ambient occlusion, this is a hit to the frame rate as well. Depth of field, personal preference, I don't usually like to use it, it's super distracting, but you can enable it if you want. Object detail on 35 because this is super demanding. There will be less pop in if you increase it, but there will be a big FPS hit if you crank it up. Extra streaming distance, don't touch this one, use a small memory and hard drive according to this. It was a big hit to the frame rate on the previous game as well, not worth it if you ask me. This is again personal preference. Water on high, no chromatic aberration, once more personal preference. Textures on 512, I keep it on that. High resolution sky textures, yes, and terrain on high. That's pretty much the ideal options, is 900p, 60 frames per second. If you will play at 1080p, make sure to just disable the local reflection quality, lower the shadows to high, keep this on sun on off or sun low, probably off is a better option. And yeah, I mean, not much else to mention. The game is running much better than I expected, at least in the area I tested. So yeah, if you want to play at 720p, you can crank it up to high, it will be alright, 60 frames. And if you want 30 frames, I forgot to mention that, on 900p use a mix of high and ultra. Low, don't use volumetrics or shadows on ultra, that's usually super demanding for no reason whatsoever in general, because it's not a huge quality difference. But yeah, you can also do 1080p 30 that I tested back at the other parts of the stream, at the in the middle of the stream I think. I did 1080p 30 with a 30 FPS cap. It was smooth enough if you cap the frame rate at 30 with RTSS. But yeah, that's all I have to say for this beta. Hopefully if I have time tomorrow, I'll be doing standalone videos for other cards and give you my thoughts. on a separate video instead of just a live stream. But yeah, oh, this is not a playable area. Damn it. Okay. As I was saying, that was my conclusion. So yeah, I'm finishing the live stream. I have to go. I'm in a hurry. I'm going to answer a couple things and leave. So 1 second. Asus 1050 Ti for USB streaming. You need a powerful CPU to stream and enough RAM. Quad-core CPU should be enough, but it will be for lighter games, and that's about it. Si tuvieras que comprar una PC gamer barata para jugar en 1080 altos ultra, ¿qué PC montarías? ¿Una 1060 o una RX 570? Un procesador quad-core, por lo menos. No jugarías a 60 FPS siempre, pero alto ultra podrías hacer en muchos juegos, si no RX 580. Y no mucho más que eso, depende de cuánta plata tengas. Tengo una RAM de 8 GB, quiero comprar otra, pero no sé si comprar dos de más frecuencia o están bien las dos de 2133. Y dejarlas a 2133, pero va a hacerles overclock y vos ves. Pero sí, si puedes tener dos que son más rápidas y tu CPU lo soporta, 10 Ryzen, mejor. Okay guys, now I crashed the server, so I was answering some questions in Spanish. Now I'm going to answer a couple in English. There are no... How well this game performs on a GTX 1080? Probably 1080p, high settings, 60 frames per second. I have no doubt about it. A mix between high and ultra should be easily at 60. Now maybe ultra settings 60 frames per second on 1080p. With some of the draw distance lowered, it should be fine. And one thing before I go, whoa, that's not a good idea. Let me see if this works. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, as you can see, I'm here. I'll show you something super quickly, if I can. I now got an RTX 2060 for the channel. Hopefully I can compare it with the upcoming 1660 Ti or something like that. It's the, what was the name of this? I forget, I always forget the names of that. It's the Strix version. It's super expensive compared to the other RTX 2060, but it wasn't a huge difference in price in my country. So I decided to go for that one, just for testing purposes and as my main driver. I sold the 1080 Ti to buy the 2060 and buy the upcoming 1660 Ti, 1660, 1650. So we'll see how it goes. I bought it mainly to do comparisons with the upcoming ones because it's quite expensive. But yeah, I sold the 1080 Ti, yeah. I sold it to buy more cards for the channel and do comparisons and all that. I wasn't completely using the 1080 Ti, so I didn't have a huge problem with it, with selling it. I wasn't fully utilizing it. I play at 1080p, so who really cares? Vaya, yo creo que la prueba 900p la pasó. Es hora de 1080p. Ya probé 1080p, así que, pero gracias. En fin. Ryzen 2400G, GTX. Yeah, you can do streaming with that without 2400G and a 1050 Ti. Use the NVIDIA encoder so you have CPU power to spare. And the i5 7400 will be the same as this, pretty much. If you have enough system RAM, dual channel, it should be the same. Anyway guys, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, see you next time. See ya next time. See ya next time.